Hey everybody, welcome into Faith and Football. My name is Neil, and we are here week 8 talking about, or sorry, the end of week 8, talking about who got hurt and how it is going to affect your fantasy team for the playoff push that we are about to begin for the late part of this season, guys. We're heading into week 9, and before we get into week 9, guys, we got an election coming up. I am encouraging everybody, please make your voice heard. Look, I know a lot of conspiracy theorists out there and a lot of people who are down on the government and down on the system say that that one voice doesn't count. But here's the thing. It does count. And as Christians, we are given a task to voice our opinion. I was recently reminded in a sermon on Sunday from my pastor that if I'm not mistaken, 32 million self-professed Christians do not vote. Now, I don't know about you, but that's a lot of people not raising their hand and pointing their finger to say, I want that person in office. I want them to decide how this country is run. I want them to be making the laws that govern my life. So, guys, listen, I encourage you, don't just worry about the presidential election, but please make sure that you're voting in your local elections, in the Congress, Senate, all that stuff. Make sure you are making your voice heard and not just on one platform or in one area. Now, some people think that the Bible doesn't really talk on voting or the government or things like that, but I beg to differ. See, and you're probably wondering how I'm tying this into fantasy football, into biblical stance. So hold on, I got you. I know that a lot of times we as Christians, we want a democratic salvation. But here's the thing is that God is a king, not a president. See, a president is elected. A king is anointed. So Jesus Christ was anointed to come on this earth to do the will of the Father, his Father, God in heaven. He anointed him with the Holy Spirit. He walked with him and had a purpose for him on this earth while he walked on it. And see, presidents are given their power by we the people. That's why our Constitution says we the people. Okay. So those three little words, those right there let you know that the elected government officials work for you. We don't work for them. Okay. But here's the thing. When you have a kingship, when you have that kind of governing body on your life, then you are answering to one person. That one person doesn't answer to you. And sometimes I think that we want to treat God like we're in a democracy, like we want to vote on what's done or what's said or, how our life is supposed to work. Remember, this isn't our life. Like God gave us the life that we have. Okay. Now we are given choices. We are given free will to do with that life as we choose. But the end result, the end gain is the fact that Jesus Christ has, or God has the last word in where we end up in eternity. We can make choices that lead us one way or the other, but based on those choices, he has the deciding vote. Okay. Now, I want you to remember that God or Jesus, when he was on this earth, he gave power to his disciples. He gave power to us. We have that same power that the disciples had. In Luke chapter 9, verses 1 and 2, it reads like this. One day, Jesus called together his 12 disciples and gave them power and authority to cast out all demons and to heal all diseases. Then he sent them out to tell everyone about the kingdom of God and to heal the sick. See, He didn't send them out there with the primary responsibility of healing. It was preaching the gospel, preaching the deliverance of Jesus and the gift of salvation that God has given us, and healing the sick. See, that was a secondary thing. Now, in Ephesians chapter 2, verses 14, this is talking, well, let me read it to you. It says, "For Christ himself has brought peace to us. He united Jews and Gentiles into one people when, in his own body on the cross, he broke down the wall of hostility that separate us." See, during election time, we have these walls. We have this division that, well, you're a Republican, I'm a Democrat. Oh, you're an independent. Okay, great. Well, that means that we're going to argue. No, it doesn't mean that we have to do that. What it means is that we believe different things. Okay. We have different points of view. That doesn't mean that we have to argue. It doesn't mean that there can't be peace between us. That does mean that at the end of all of this, that we're not to get along because our guy didn't win. Okay. If our candidate didn't win, then we need to be supportive of the one who did. Now, I know you're probably saying, well, and this was popular a few years back. That's not my president. We heard that a lot. Okay. But here's what God says about that. In 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 17, it says, "Honor everyone." Everyone. It doesn't say honor Democrats or honor Republicans or honor independents. Okay. It says everyone. Love the brotherhood. Okay. That's all of us. Fear God, and not like he's up there like ready to smack you for doing bad. Fear him in a respective sense. Like he honor his power. Fear him in that sense. Don't be afraid of him. It says fear God, not be afraid of God. Okay. And the last thing it says in this verse is honor the emperor. Now, you can replace emperor with president because it's pretty much the same thing. Okay. He was talking about the elected official in place over his people then. That is what he's talking about. So just because your candidate doesn't win doesn't mean that you get to ignore the laws of the land, that you just get to live all willy-nilly how you want. It means you've got to honor what is put in place, because whether you like it or not, God has a specific design for those people to be in that place at that time. See, think about this. At the end times, there's supposed to be a certain order to how the world is going. Now, at that time, it might not look the way you think it should look, but it's going along the way that God planned it to be. Now, you don't think that God put Caesar into place, that God put Pontius Pilate into place in the positions of authority that they had in order for Jesus to be able to get to the cross, to die for our sins, to save us, and be able to bridge that gap that lies between eternal damnation and eternal life with him. See, everything works together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to his works. So, guys, just because things might not go right on November 5th doesn't mean that November 6th you get to lose your mind and be any kind of way. It means that, hey, you got to deal with what comes the same way we got to do every single day that we wake up, and we have to go to that job that we don't like, or we have to, see that person at work that we really don't get along with. God says to get along with everyone as it is in your ability to do so. The same way that, things might not go the way that you want every single weekend when you're playing fantasy football. Look, they didn't for me. Week 7, guys, I scored like 175 points. Week 8, guys, I didn't even break 100. Things didn't go the way I wanted them to go. So what did I do? I made some adjustments. I adjusted my expectations. I did a little more praying, and I'm looking forward to the next week. So even though I'm sitting here on Monday night, I got the game on, and my boy, my league neighbors, even though he's on my bench is playing, I got to see how he's looking, how he's being used. So no, I'm not ready to trade him just yet because our trade deadline is November 14th or week 14. So I still got a little bit of usage out of him, but I'm not giving up and I'm not, just throwing in the towel. Guys, don't do that either. Make sure that you're going out there. Make sure that you're being educated. Educate yourself on the candidate that you're going to vote for. Make sure that you're knowledgeable about the decision that you're about to make, whether it is to vote or not to vote. If it is not to vote, guys, listen, you can't be mad about how things turned out because you not voting means that you're accepting whatever these people are giving to you. So you really got nobody to blame but yourself on that one. Now, if your guy doesn't win, swallow it, move on. In 4 years, you get another shot. Now, in that 4 years, you might have some hardship, you might have some trials, but think about this. Maybe at that point in time, God's using that to help you grow in an area that you might need help in. And the only way that that was going to happen is with the results that came down. So, some food for thought as we go into this injury recap of week 8 and moving forward, the same way we're going to do on November 6th is the same way we're going to do December 6th and January 6th and every other 6th of the month past this November. So, guys, please get out there, vote. Make sure you're educating yourself about the decision you're going to make. Make sure that you're comparing the candidates to your beliefs. And if those match, then that's the candidate to vote for. If they don't, then don't vote for them. So I didn't want to get too political. I didn't want to get too heavy this tonight with this episode. So I hope that brought a little enlightenment to you. Please make sure you go down bottom, subscribe, like, share, drop me a comment. Look, we're all dealing with injuries. We're all dealing with complications. We're all in this together, guys. So make sure you're hitting me up. I'm here to help, regardless of whether I'm playing with you or not. Hit me up down bottom and ask me a question. Let me know where your struggle is, and we'll try to get it all sorted out. Okay. A little update on the game. Second quarter, about 7 minutes left. Giants got the ball. It's 9-6. This has been an absolute bore fest. Okay. It's not been fun to watch. I'm just letting you guys know. Pittsburgh games, I can't stand watching Pittsburgh games just for some fact that they play way too good a defense and they don't pass the ball enough. But that's me. So anyway, let's get into the injuries. But before we do, guys, I just said a couple minutes ago, subscribe, like, share. If you subscribe and you're in the Lafayette, Louisiana area, I encourage you go down to 235 Ducey Road, off of Johnson Street in Lafayette, Louisiana, and you will find yourself at Zia Rotisserie Grill, where you can get a free appetizer of your choice on me. Guys, they just introduced the Kung Pao cauliflower. This stuff is off the chain. Go down and get you one on me. Maybe you're not into that. Maybe you think, oh man, cauliflower, I don't know about that. Look, it's free. I'm giving it to you free. Try it out. You will be surprised. Trust me on this one. Go down there, check them out. Off of Johnson Street, it's 235 Ducey Road, Lafayette, Louisiana. If you show them that you are a subscriber to my channel, then they will give you a free appetizer for the table on me. Okay. Go down there, check them out. It's free from them for for you, from me, from them. So go down there, check them out. And if you were in the area and you need some catering done, guys, they got you covered on that too. Call them up 337-406-0013 and make sure that you ask for Andy, and he will be more than happy to help you out with any of your catering needs. Look, you need it done on site, we got you. You need it done and delivered, they got you. Maybe it's just for a small gathering. Maybe it's for a wedding. Yep, they do those too. Go down there and check them out. Give them a call. They will be more than happy to take any business that you have to give them, and make sure that you are showing them that you are a subscriber to the show so you can get your free appetizer when you go down there and you get some ribs, you get some rotisserie chicken, the rotisserie ribeye, stuff is off the chain. Oh, and by the way, they still got the pesto trout. If you haven't had this, you missing out. Go down there and check them out. Let them know that you subscribe to my channel, and they'll be more than happy to hook you up with that free appetizer. You don't want the cauliflower? Fine. They got ribs. They got the Asian almond shrimp. You can get that too. And if you're looking a little shareable, get the Met hummus. It is delicious. Okay. So make sure you go down there and check them out. So, guys, there were a few late scratches in this week. It kind of threw some people off. One of them was T. Higgins suffering a quad injury. I believe it was Friday at practice. Sorry, voice cracking, a little thirsty. So T. Higgins did now all of these injuries I'm about to go over. I encourage you guys. This is just Monday night. We haven't gotten any practice reports. We haven't gotten any updates on any of these injuries that happened this past weekend or Thursday night. So I encourage you, please make sure you are staying updated on your players' injuries or the players that you're looking to pick up. Look, I went to go put a claim in on Isaac Guerrero, who is the running back for the San Francisco 49ers. However, I did remember two things. One, they got a bye week this week or next week. So I really don't know if I'm going to be picking him up because, oh, I'm sorry, bye week is this week. So he's got a bye week this week. Then the following week, when they come out of the bye, Christian McCaffrey, CMC, is due back. That is the rumor. And with the bye this week, it also gives Jordan Mason the ability to heal up from whatever shoulder injury he is dealing with. Look, he was dealing with an AC joint sprain. Then in this past game on Sunday night versus Dallas, which they beat them outstanding. I love it as a Washington fan. It is absolutely phenomenal weekend. Not only did my team win with a Hail Mary at the end after playing an absolutely just knockdown drag out with Chicago, but to have the Cowboys turn around and lose to the injury depleted 49ers was just the icing on the cake for me that night. So it was absolutely phenomenal. But like I said, Jordan Mason suffering from not one, but two shoulder injuries. As a Jordan Mason owner, I am staying put and I'm holding him right now, eyeing Isaac Guerrero, however you say his name, you know who I'm talking about. So I'm eyeing him on waivers. If he makes it through, I might pick him up, but that means I got to drop somebody. I currently have Ray Davis, so I'm holding Ray Davis because James Cook has also been dealing with some injury. So I'm kind of monitoring that situation. Another situation that was a late scratch, as far as I saw, was Rico Dotto did have an illness, so keep an eye on that. It's just look between him and Debo, I don't know what's going on. Everybody getting sick, so it's that time of year. Anyway, DK Metcalf. Now I did get an update on this one. DK Metcalf, it is said that he should be good to go against the Rams this week. So if you have DK Metcalf, make sure you're monitoring the situation. And expect for him to be in your starting lineup. He does have a bye on week 10. So it kind of gives me personally pause on starting him because if he isn't 100%, then they possibly could sit him down. He could be a healthy scratch if he is good to go, but they're not sure. So they want to try to give him an extra week. Then he will be back for week 11. So keep an eye on that one, guys. Also, Quentin Johnson. I know a lot of you out there might not have him. A lot of you have been doing absolutely fine without him. But if you have Lad McConkey, this is something to keep an eye on because Quentin Johnson, with the ankle injury, it boosts Lad McConkey up. So having Lad just performing the way he has, Justin Herbert had a good weekend. Lad McConkey had an amazing day at the office. So something to think about on that one. Next up, Jawan Jennings, guys. Jawan Jennings, just like with DK, has a week 10 bye. So San Fran, Seattle, both week 10 buys. Next episode, I'll be getting into on my start sets who's on a bye, who's not. But we'll talk about that then. But Jawan Jennings dealing with a hip injury. Listen, I'm not gonna. I can't tell you who to pick up on the Niners because everybody is getting hurt. Okay, I'll be surprised if the Water Boy isn't starting for him at some point in time. But what I can tell you is that if Ricky Pearsall is out there still on your waiver wire, this kid looked really good in the action that I did see him in. It was against a Dallas team that has kind of a suspect defense to start with, so I would definitely pick him up and stash him with all the injuries that they have been going through. I would definitely keep Ricky Pearsall on my squad if you have room to stash him. Look, hopefully your squad has an IR spot that you can move some of these injured players around and find a place to stash him. So if you can, great. If you can't, do the best you can. Um, Next up, Travis Etienne is dealing with a hamstring issue as well as Tajay Spears. Now, Tajay Spears, guys, listen, I've talked about this till I'm blue in the face, but Tony Pollard was the guy that they decided to go out and get in Tennessee. He has a absolute cake schedule for the end of the year. So if you have Tony Pollard, this is absolutely great news for you. If you are still holding Tajay Spears, look, go ahead. This is what I tell people is a landmine for other owners to step into. Look, you probably had some kind of expectation on Tajay Spears. You think that it might still work out. I'm here to tell you it's probably not going to work out the way you wanted it to, and he's just killing your roster spot. So if you've got somebody that you can go out there and claim off of waivers this week, go do it. Drop Tajay Spears, let him fall to the waiver wire, and let him be someone else's headache, guys. Also, now I'm not going to tell you to drop Travis Etienne. What I will tell you is to adjust your expectation, and if you can trade him, okay. This is one of those keep trade cut type things. So I'll give myself one. Usually guys have co-hosts and stuff like that. I don't have that. So we'll do a keep trade cut on 3 running backs that are kind of suspect right now at this point in the season. We'll do Jordan Mason, Travis Etienne, and Tajay Spears. Look, Jordan Mason's trade value is absolutely zero right now, okay? Especially with the injuries and the expectation that CMC is coming back after the bye. So you're forced to keep Jordan Mason. You cut Tajay Spears because he's not going to work out. Tony Pollard has the #1 running back spot on lock, okay? So you can drop him, let him be someone else's headache. Travis Etienne, look, he still carries name value. He still has a possibility of working out. However, what is being cut into not only by Tank Bigsby, but also Dearness Johnson's getting in the mix. Guys, this is a three-headed monster. If you can trade Travis Etienne, I'm not going to tell you that you're going to get top value for him because he's been doing horrible, but something's better than nothing. So if you can get out from under Travis Etienne, I encourage you to do so. Alan Lazard is dealing with a chest injury with the addition of Devontae Adams in New York. Then, Allen's been great. He's been that safety blanket for Aaron Rodgers. But Rodgers is getting a little older and he himself is dealing with minor injuries that keep popping up on the injury report. So keep an eye on it. If you've got somebody who's really hurting at wide receiver, look, we had a bunch of wide receivers go down as of late. This is a guy who you could probably sell, get a functional piece somewhere else. Okay. Now, a little bit of good news I'll throw in the middle of all this bad news that we're going to have to go through. TJ Hawkinson. If you've been holding him, if you've been eyeing him on your waivers, make that claim now if he is somehow still on your waivers, because he is due back this coming week. So if he is due back this coming week, he is going to be a definite target for Sam Darnold, who's been playing out of his mind. And if you got Jordan Addison, this probably could be a good thing for you too, because yeah, they're going to spread targets out a little bit, but right now all they've been doing is throwing to Jordan Jefferson or Justin Jefferson. So with all the hoopla that he's had with that free three tweet that he put out, or his on his Instagram that he put out, he could see an uptick. But with TJ coming back, TJ is definitely somebody to look at. I personally would not start him week 9. I would wait to see how he's going to be introduced into this offense. You've been making it through with the tight end that you have. Keep him on your bench and see how he works out moving forward. Okay. Mike Evans. Look, Mike Evans is definitely somebody that you're wanting to hold on to. However, you need to monitor this situation because right now, as it stands, he's expected to miss 4 weeks. Now, normally that spells a stint on IR. So if he's going on the injured reserve, then it's a little more serious than we think. However, the 4th week of that stint is week 11. They have a week 11 bye. So the thought process behind this is that they won't put him on IR. They'll let him sit out for weeks 9, for this past week, and then week 9, week 10, and week 11. Okay. So he sat out this past week. He's going to sit out week 9. He's going to sit out week 10. Week 11 is the 4th week that he's out. Week 11 on their bye, he should be back for week 12. Make sure you're keeping an eye on this situation. Now, whoever has Mike Evans could be struggling at wide receiver. This is your opportunity to buy lower than you normally would on Mike Evans if you have enough wide receivers to withstand the onslaught that is coming for your bye weeks. Maybe you're avoiding a week 10, week 9, week 11 buys with your wide receivers. Maybe you can hold on to Mike Evans a little better than the current owner of Mike Evans. Go ahead, shoot an offer out to that owner. The worst they can say is no. Okay. So Nico Collins remains on IR, another situation to monitor. And just so you know, Stephon Diggs was out of this past game. So make sure that you're keeping an eye on his injury status moving forward. Because if it's just Tank Dell, then Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz, Joe Mixon, all get a boost up. And they're playing Thursday night football against the Jets. Guys, this is going to be ugly. Okay. The way that CJ Stafford has been playing. He's not been playing that good. Or I'm sorry, CJ Stroud. No, CJ Stratton. I got a mashup. So CJ Stroud playing against the Jets on Thursday nights, short week. Guys, he hadn't been playing that great, and he's going up against the Jets defense. That's not going to be a good recipe for fantasy success. However, Tank Dell could be because uh, all the production is going to be funneled to Tank Dell. So make sure that you keep an eye out on Stephon Diggs uh, injury updates. If you have Stephon Diggs, look, by all means, don't trade him, don't move him, just let him ride your bench for this week. He's probably going to be out. And it looks like, yep, New York just tied it up. It's 9-9. I'm telling you guys, this is an absolute snore-fest of a game to have on. That's probably why I'm doing my show during the game. So anyway, and we'll just boo collectively because they just showed Roger Goodell. So boo. Okay. Um, anyway, yes, Stephon Diggs. Now, it is a non-contact injury. It is feared that he has torn his ACL. Now, if that's the case, then just drop him. But like I said, keeping up an eye on that situation. Christian Kirk, sorry to say, broken collarbone, out for the rest of the season. Okay. What does this mean? This means that in Jacksonville, guys, um, yeah, so Dearness Johnson, who's heavily involved in the passing game, and any other wide receiver they have just gets a boost. So, guys, if you got Christian Kirk, sorry, you're along with the Rice manager and anybody else who's been out for the season. So, um, Brian Thomas Jr. is possibly out 2 to 4 weeks. Okay. So again, another situation in which to monitor, which is sad because Brian Thomas Jr. was doing out like just really, really outstandingly good. We talked about Jordan Mason, AC joint sprain, and another shoulder injury. I'm sure more updates are going to be coming as we get into Tuesday. Now, you might be saying, hey, let me go get Gabe Davis because Gabe Davis is going to be, getting more touches because Christian Kirk's out. Hate to break this to you, but Gabe Davis is also dealing with a shoulder injury. So, I'm gonna try to get. Let me see here the depth chart. This is where you have to start diving really deep into some teams. So for Jacksonville, you're looking at Brian Thomas Jr. out 2 to 4 weeks. Christian Kirk currently out for the season with a broken collarbone. Gabe Davis could be missing time. So you're left with Devin Duvernay, Tim Jones, and Parker Washington. So me personally, Parker Washington has had about a 30% snap share. So I'd be going after Parker Washington. That might be a deep cut for him. Now, if you have Evan Ingram, that makes him so much more valuable right now. And if you remember last year, Evan Ingram was a league winner. So with the concentration of targets or consolidation of targets being needing to be placed somewhere, definitely, if you have Evan Ingram, don't move him, don't touch him, let him be. Um, Let me see if I can give you guys a little idea as to the rest of the season for tight end. Let's see where. Now, I personally have Brock Bowers. So let's see, rest of season. Jacksonville is kind of down here. Okay. Jacksonville has the second hardest schedule for tight end coming up. However, with the consolidation of targets, it might not be that bad. We did have one of the easiest matchups, and they go from one of the easiest matchups to one of the hardest matchups coming up in Philadelphia. I would still start him for week 9. And then let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11. He is part of the apocalypse for week 12. So he's got that week 12 bye. And then it comes out against Houston, Tennessee, the Jets, and then the Raiders, and then the Titans. Guys, it's not a pretty picture for Jacksonville down the stretch run for their tight end. And some really tough defenses with maybe the exception of the Raiders. So something to keep an eye on, I guess. Also, something to keep an eye on. Sorry, crazy guy. Um, Something to keep an eye on, guys. Keep an eye on your pie selection for Thanksgiving. And you guys know where I'm going with this. Keller's Bakery in Youngsville, 627 Lafayette Street. Guys, made the decision. I texted my boy Dusty earlier this week or last week and made arrangements to get not one, but 2 pies this year. We're getting the pecan traditionally, what graces my Thanksgiving Day table, along with a lemon meringue pie for our table. Guys, lemon meringue is off the chain. I love it. It's delicious. We collectively made it. I kind of was leaning toward pumpkin, but guys, they got all this stuff down at Keller's. Go down there and check them out. 627 Lafayette Street in Youngsville, Louisiana. Make sure it's the one in Youngsville, not the one downtown in Lafayette. I have another downtown sponsor I'll talk about in a minute. But Keller's Bakery, you go down there again, same as with Zia. If you show them that you subscribe to this channel, you get, with no purchase necessary, 2 free cookies just by subscribing to this channel. So make sure you're hitting me up down bottom, subscribe, like, share, drop me a comment. Let me know what cookie you get. I would love to hear about it. And if you decide to get a pie for Thanksgiving, guys, let me know. Hit me up and let me know what's on your Thanksgiving Day menu. And I'll be going over mine as well. I'm off for Thanksgiving, thankfully. It's one of the days that we're closed. So who knows? Might even do a live. We'll see. Give you guys some pictures and stuff of how the turkey looked and everything like that. So something to keep an eye out for. Now, if you are downtown in Lafayette, Louisiana, and you're a little hungry, you're walking around, maybe you work down there and you're looking for something after work, you don't want to cook, but you don't know where to go to get some good food for the family. Guys, go to 603 Jefferson Street inside of Gordon Square and talk to Bradley at Amis Groceries. That's right, Amis Groceries has over 200 local items from over 50 local vendors, farm fresh eggs. They've got freeze-dried candy. They've got pre-made meals for the family. Go down there, check them out. Pick you up look, you want a little snack, for the way home, the way to work, whatever. Get you a bag of beef jerky and have at it. It is local. It is, just to help support the local economy, the local community, and the local vendors who are putting their hard work in to make you happy. Go down there and check them out. Amis Groceries, and look, they're cooking up some delicious stuff behind the counter. Go down there and check them out. Their menu changes daily. You're gonna have to look at the little chalkboard that's out there and see what they got cooking for that day. Make sure you're going to check them out. The same way that you need to check out my next episode when I do start sits for week 9. Guys, we're making that push to the playoffs. I want to get you there. I want to get you in the playoffs. I want to get you one of these. I want to get you a championship. Let me help you out. If you've got questions down below, drop me a comment and let me know where your dilemma is. If you're dealing with injuries, if you're dealing with decisions, start sets, things like that. Look, maybe you're stacked and you don't know who to start because you got so many good players. I know it's a struggle. It is. Struggle's real. I feel you. Okay. But make sure you go and check me out down bottom. Okay. Check out next episode. We're doing the start sets for week 9. Guys, no more bye weeks are over until week 14. We've got byes every single week until then, or actually until week 15, because week 14, boy, we got a doozy. 6 teams on bye in week 14, which is the last week of the regular season. So if you're leaning on guys to carry you into the playoffs, you might need to look ahead and start playing chess, not checkers. Make sure that you're also looking ahead to the election. Guys, go out and vote. Come on. We got the right. We have the right to voice our opinion, to make our voices heard at the polls. Go vote. And we'll see you guys next time on Faith in Football. And I've got just 2 more things for you. One, everybody knows football is good, but I want you to realize God is greater. And we'll see you guys next time on Faith in Football. God bless. Y'all take care.